And the next activity we're going to be talking about is how to build your own bird nest. And this just happens to be a bird nest that has been located on the eave of my house for the past several years, and I don't mess with it. And this little bird has made several, or has had several nests made right here by this light. And so we're going to talk about how to build your own bird nest and talk about why birds make nests, what they make bird nests out of, and how we can relate bird nests to our own homes, and how it's some common things that we share with birds and their nests. So I'm going to move down here now and rotate down to our items that we'll be using to make our own bird nest. Now, again, you're going to hear me say this time and time again throughout this, or throughout these videos, and you have to pardon me, I'm my own camera person. And we'll make sure that this... Okay, so remember, we're telling a story here, and I got to get, excuse me just a little bit to get this bumped up. Make sure I'm in frame. I apologize for this, but okay. So you may see more of my hands than you see anything else, but we want to talk about bird nests. Tell the story, okay? So, during activities, always remember to ask questions. The how, why, when, wheres. Why do birds build nests? Let's talk about that first. Well, what do all animals need? And I give a pause there. It's food, water, and shelter. Food, water, shelter. We're going to come back to that on another activity. So, what is a nest? A nest is shelter, right? Just like our homes are our shelter. So see, that's a relatable term that you can use with kids. Coincidentally, it's against the law to disturb any songbird nest. So if you see one, even if it's on the ground, don't disturb it. Look at it, but don't disturb it. And that's another opportunity to tell kids about that. But so what do birds use? They use what they have on hand to make their nest. They need shelter to stay out of the elements, rain, water, rain and snow and other things. Just like that bird made the nest under the eave of my house to stay out of the water. And it's also made the nest, you can't tell it, but it's made it in a corner to where it's shielded from a north wind and from a west wind. Why is that? Rain comes from the west, cold air comes from the north, storms come from the south or southwest. So that little bird has made a good selection, a site selection for that. But if we observe bird nests, we can see that they use, again, what is available. So you can allow young people to go out, and again, this is critical thinking, experiential learning. It is using what they observe in their yard or outside where you're going to be doing the activity. Allow them to collect the materials in which to make the bird nest. So, allow them to use critical thinking. What is a bird nest made out of? A bird nest is made out of twigs, and this is an exaggerated twig, smaller twigs, It's made out of straw. It's made out of mud. Now, how do we draw, and we've got leaves here too. How do we draw a generalization to where we can relate back to what a bird nest is made out of? We have, our homes are made out of wood. They are made out of a combination of a mixture of materials such as rock, straw, and mud, also known as cement, to hold bricks together or to form bricks. Okay? So, how do we build the nest? It's always good to know there is no wrong way to do something. Again, we want to go back to them having fun. So, we want them to make sure they, in their mind, they see what a bird nest is made out of. So, if they take a stick and they put another stick on top of a stick and they start making a structure and say they want to put a couple of leaves here, they want to put grass here, and then maybe they want to take some mud and stick it on top of that stick, that little structure that they've made, maybe put some more mud in here on top of that, putting a little bit more grass on top of that, putting a little bit more mud, putting a little bit more grass, until they've kind of gotten a little bit of a structure formed. And maybe they want to put some mud in the middle and then put a little more grass on top of that, until basically they've made a small structure that resembles a nest. Okay? And we all pretty much know what a nest looks like. But now, that gives you the opportunity to talk about what are the elements of a nest that makes it a good place for a bird to be. We have insulation in our homes, which is made out of fiberglass, and that holds heat in and keeps us warm in the wintertime, which is what it is right now. So this structure is a skeleton, just like the beams, rafters, and other wood in our homes that hold our walls up. The grass is the insulation, and the mud is what holds all of it together. And that's what makes a home for a bird. And you can go out and, like I said, research different bird nests, the different shapes of bird nests, songbird nests, swallows, martins. You can even make a nest out of a gourd for a martin nest, and those are really cheap. I saw those at a farmer market not too long ago. And you can cut a hole out in it, cut a hole out of it, and make a nest out of that. So it's a great learning opportunity to talk about food, water, shelter. More importantly, shelter, and how a bird uses that in order to live. And again, going back to the relationship, it would be with our homes. So that is the activity on how to build a bird nest.